thank you for breaking that down for sure.
Yeah, and there's so much more to it. I just, for your listeners, those who are familiar, just trying to give a glimpse into that reality. I remember one time we was on the back 40, and again there was an individual that was a known homosexual, and the thing about in prison, right? If you was an outright homosexual, you got respected. Why? Because that's who you was. And so again, if a homosexual came to this yard and said, "Well, me and Yusef got a thing together," more than likely he's telling the truth. I mean, he's open. I mean, he's out about who he is, right? And where you had other individuals who was in the closet, who was hiding, and like they didn't get respect, and it caused a lot of drama. And remember this young guy, he was a fish. The new prisoner, and he didn't know the game in terms of the landscape. And he asked the guy like, "Can I smoke your cigarette? Can I hit your cigarette?" Which was the homosexual. And the homosexual looked at him like, "I don't think you want to hit this cigarette." But
Mm.
again, if he wasn't an upright person in terms of who he was, he could have just handed it to him, and that would have changed the whole landscape of that guy's trajectory of how he did this time, because everybody would have looked at him different. Even though he wasn't trying to engage in that. I mean, so your point around like then, which that could have led to sexual assault. I mean, and the salt stars on the mentality, the salt stars on the spirit, and then allows for other things.
Right, right. That's a good point. I feel like that's what's happening to black people. Like the assault is on us mentally to the point where like the oppressor don't necessarily have to be in front of us or force us to do anything. It's like we programmed to do these things to ourselves a lot of time, So I wanted to go into to the next question. I was checking out your page and you had a post. You was kind of talking about detailing blackness and what is being black, and what does that mean to you, and is that important? Because a lot of times when we ask, like in America, you if you had 10 black people, you may say, who are you, where you from? Some people say I'm African American. Some people don't even like to be called black, or some people say, yeah, I am black, I'm not an African, or I'm all my people was already, you'll get 10 different answers. We Moors, we Israelites, we from here, we from Africa, we from there. If you could just speak on that a little bit.
Yeah, I thought the question was important because of what the way you just broke it down. It was for me trying to see something which I already knew, and you just elaborated on it perfectly, which is there's 10 different. We probably got a million different definitions around black, and not understanding the history of what gave birth to why we call ourselves black, which is in my understanding is black was the only name that we had given ourselves, because we was Negroes, we was colored, we was everything else, besides especially when they reduced us or took the African. I mean, even for the African, remember again, we all come from different tribes, so we were tribal names first, and then African, right? But understanding like the black emerged as a way to define ourselves. Some say it emerged as a result of whiteness, or they white, we're black. Again, my understanding, it was about a framework of being able to deconstruct and delegitimize in their eyes of how they saw us, and legitimize in our eyes of creating something to be proud of. So same thing with Black is Beautiful. I mean, just that whole movement. But as Dr. Henry Clark has said so profoundly, like black has been overused. And I was kind of like just trying to see what folks are saying, because in my PhD, what I want to do is just tackle that, right? I think black is a necessity, but to what? I mean, so like black and African is interchangeable, and even in globally in the diaspora, where it's South America or Caribbean islands, the Africans over there identify as blacks. Even going in Africa, you have black folks over there who identify as black. Steve Biko in South Africa in the '70s started the Black Conscious movement, right? So this word black, it has different dynamics because of the geographic, but fundamentally, black is not a nationality. We have to get to a nationality, and so that's going back to when I started opening up. So what I believe black folks' nationality in America is New African, And New African, again, going back to our original roots, it represents us being a tribe here in African tribe here in North America, right? And so, but it's always it's been on this trajectory, on this this road of development and developing ourselves. Because again, remember, they took everything from us, like they stripped us down, and so we reclothed ourselves. And one of the jackets that we put on that fitted real good was being black. Now we have to find that other jacket, which is, and that's what, being, and that's where ideologies come to the place. And I think like black nationalism has to meet Pan Africanism, and they have to coexist, because fundamentally, we're a tribe in America, but also what about black folks, African folks, not only in the diaspora but in Africa? So being able to sync those or synthesize that type of philosophy of seeing us as, like Marcus Garvey said, one land, one nation, one people, but understanding there's different dynamics that prevents us from seeing that universal ideology of seeing black people, African people as one.